Listening Library presents The Transition by Logan-Ashley Kisner, narrated by Scott Turner Schofield. This book is for you. I wish I'd been a better friend. I wish you had been too. Author's note. In 2024 alone, there were 625 anti-trans bills put forward across state and federal legislatures in the United States. An overwhelming number of those bills were related to education and health care, targeting children's access not only to medical transition, but to social transition as well. For an untold number of youths across the country, around the world, the horror of forced detransition is very real. Please be aware that the following story will include transphobia, sexual harassment and assault, body horror, and the death of several animals, both on and off page. For more detailed information on the contents of this book, you can go to Logan-AshleyKisner.com. To those who listen on, and to the trans kids in particular, I want to say that these real-world horrors are not in any way new. That does not make them any less terrifying to face. You have every reason to be angry, upset, or afraid. But in 2024, 625 pieces of anti-trans legislation were introduced, and 462 of them failed. I hope this story gives you courage. I'm here to tell you, it's going to be okay. Chapter 1. A couple weeks before my top surgery, I curled up with Michael Dillon's memoir in the corner of the school library. He was the first transgender man to undergo top surgery, all the way back in 1942, but he wrote very little about the procedure and what to expect of it. What he did right was this. The anesthesia made him vomit for nearly a full day afterward, and he was so happy to finally be rid of what I hated most. I don't know all the ways that top surgery has progressed since 1942, although I have to think that the anesthesia has gotten better. For me, the worst part has been the drains. Drains are these round, softball-sized bulbs hung by pins from the compression binder and connected to these tubes that disappear into my chest beneath the incision marks on my pecs. They have to be emptied twice a day. I've been doing it myself for the last 2.5 weeks, measuring as the blood has gone from a vibrant, syrupy red to a thick, sluggish black. It's done a lot to solidify my belief that the human body is truly disgusting. Today, at last, I'm getting them taken out. Now, this will feel weird, but it shouldn't hurt. The nurse, whose name I've already forgotten, pulls a glove over each hand. Are you ready, Hunter? I come back to the moment and nod. This doctor's office is like every other, small and sparse and blindingly white. I sit at the edge of the exam table, bare-chested and avoiding eye contact with my dad, who's sitting a few feet away in a plastic chair. Being shirtless in front of him is strange because my chest doesn't look male. Not when you compare it to, like, a cis guy's chest. The nipple grafts are scabbed over, and most of the skin is still numb to the touch. It looks weird, and feels even weirder. The nurse puts one hand on the side of my chest while the other wraps around the first tube. I wince at the strange sensation and watch as she slowly pulls it out. She's right. It doesn't hurt, but it feels weird. Like a magician yanking scarves out of his sleeve. Except, I don't think scarves are supposed to squeal. I can tell the nurse hears it too because she makes a face as she finishes pulling it out. Whoop! Like a slide whistle. Fresh blood dribbles from the new dime-sized opening in my chest. The nurse calmly tapes a cotton ball down on it. Then she drags her finger along my rib cage, and I realize there's something else there. "That's coagulated blood," she explains, holding her gloved finger up into the air. "Totally normal. Looks like you just had some left in the tube." My blood fits perfectly on the pad of her finger, a small black worm. Even my dad's nose wrinkles when the nurse holds it up in his direction. After the second drain is removed, silently, the nurse explains a few things that I already know. Don't pick at the scabs, don't lift my arms above my head for a while, and any questions should be phoned to the office, not typed into Google. I almost roll my eyes, but I notice Dad nodding along, so I let the nurse prattle on. On paper, my dad and I look something alike. Blue-gray eyes, reddish-brown hair, and a slightly upturned nose. But my dad seems like he should be military, buzz-cut, flat mouth. I'm still waiting to outgrow the puffy face I got from starting testosterone. Traffic isn't bad for a Friday afternoon in Chicago, and it gets better as Dad drives us away from the surgeon's office and toward Naperville. He is a first officer for Southwest and travels in total silence. It's just us and the Duran Duran song playing on the radio, which all feels very normal, considering we watched 2 tubes be pulled out of my body a few minutes ago. Eventually, though, Dad clears his throat and turns the volume down a few clicks. "You're back to school on Monday, right?" "Yep." "You feel all right?" That's as close as he's gotten to asking about my chest since the surgery. "I'm fine." He nods curtly. "Good. Well, sorry I won't be here to see you off." "It's just coming back from winter break." "Your last winter break," he corrects me. "High school only happens once." Thank God, I think. He continues. "Anyway, my schedule is going to be rough for a while, trying to make up for being grounded the last 2 weeks." He leaves because you had to go and get an expensive fucking surgery unsaid, but I can still hear it hanging in the air between us. Irritation prickles across my skin. I came out as trans when I was 13. Testosterone wasn't an option at that point, but there were puberty blockers. Mom was willing to sign off on it. Dad had safety concerns. So our relationship really sucked for the 3 years that my body bled and my breasts grew, and sometimes one of us will go back to scratch at that scab. I could do that now, but I'm not in the mood to spend the rest of the drive home rehashing this. The prickle fades into a buzz. I sigh and stare out the window. There's nothing like Chicago in the thick of winter. The dead trees look like scratch marks at the bottom of the cloudless, blindingly blue sky. I love this time of year, although a large reason for that is the excuse it provides me to layer up and hide my body. We're all androgynous blobs when it's 20 degrees Fahrenheit. It dawns on me suddenly that since I have the chest of a man, I might not hate summer anymore. It's a strange thought. I can't visualize myself in a tank top. "Oh, make sure you keep an eye on Norman." Dad's voice drowns out the radio again. "Annie's been talking my ear off about predator, migration, something." "You're listening to Annie now?" I joke, pulling out my phone. Most of my messages are from last month. People wishing me a speedy recovery right before I went into the hospital. My mom and younger stepsister, Maddie, are among them. Nobody's really checked in since then, which is fine. It's not like I want to tell Maddie all about my scabbing nipples. I just text Gabe, my best friend, and one of only 2 people I've kept in the loop for every horrible step of this. "Drains out. See you Monday." Smiley face. He's your dog, Dad answers.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?